What's going on, Sumolings? Thank you so much for joining us for another product walkthrough webinar. I am Lindsay and I am joined by the team over at Pixlr. Pixlr is an intuitive online photo editor that uses AI-powered tools for quick and easy professional designs and edits. It is available right now on AppSumo starting at just $49 for a lifetime deal. But before we dive into the walkthrough, I want to first just tell you a few quick things before we get going. The first is that if you want to tell us a little bit about your use case, why you're interested in Pixlr, we love to hear from you over in the chat room. You can also tell us where you're watching from. If you have any questions about the tool, if you have any questions about the deal, how to get set up, anything like that, go ahead and leave those questions down below in the Q&A box. We do have somebody from the Pixlr team here, Davin's here, who will be answering those questions for you as they come in, but we will also circle back to any remaining questions at the end of the walkthrough, so stay tuned for that. And then the last thing is that there will be a replay of this, so you can watch this as many times as you want. If you're watching the replay, hello to the future. I hope it's going okay. That's it for me. Hi, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I am excited for y'all to dive into this today. I'm going to go ahead and shut off my camera and my mic, but go ahead and let me know when you're ready for the questions.
All right, sounds good. Thanks. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Ian. Thank you for joining us on this webinar about Pixlr. And I'll be giving you a very brief introduction and walkthrough on the editors. And I'm joined by Devin today, who will be monitoring the chat. And he'll be answering any questions you have about the deals. And I myself, after the walkthrough, I'll be trying my best to answer any questions you have about the use case and functionalities. All right, so thanks again to Lindsay for the introduction. And so again, Pixlr is an online photo editor, meaning all you need is the internet connection and a web browser to start editing your image right away. There's no downloads or installations necessary. Okay, so let's very quickly dive in and take a look at the agenda for today. Let me just share my screen. Okay. All right, so here's the agenda for today. The first one is which editor is for me. All right, we have two editors, X and E. Of course, you can access them at any time at all during your edits. However, we'll be taking a quick look at some of their differences and then hopefully help you to choose the one that's right for you or your objectives. All right, next one will be the dashboard, where we will look at how you can organize your projects, open images, as well as create a document. And we will take a look after that at some of the essential tools as well as the featured tools in the form of use cases. And lastly, talk about file saving and how you save your files, how to download your files, and what types of files are supported during the download. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with topic number one, which editor is for me. Okay, all right, let me just load. All right, okay. So here's the Pixlr main page. You can access both editors, X and E, via the main page. Or if you want to go to the editors directly, you can of course type pixlr.com/X or E for the editor of your choice. Now we're going to start with Pixlr X first by clicking on, okay, Pixlr X. And that will lead us directly to the dashboard. As you can see here, I already have some projects loaded, and we go through them later on. And now this is the Pixlr dashboard. You can see that this is the dashboard for X with the X logo right here. And this dashboard is actually shared in between X and E. So all of your projects, no matter where you start from, either X or E, they'll all be here. Okay, and then of course, again, you can switch on to E very easily from the top here. But let's look at this in a bit. Now let's just click on one of the projects. Okay, I'll just click on this image to load the Pixlr X dashboard. Now, if you are someone who is just starting out in image editing or maybe you're looking for a tool to do quick and simple edits, X will be the editor for you. Everything is very straightforward and nicely laid out. Of course, we have the toolbar on the left here, and then the work area in the middle, as well as the panels on the right here. We have the navigate layers as well as history panels. And all these can be minimized for extra working space. So if we look at, we just bring that back, and some of the tools here actually, if it's for Pixlr X, a lot of the tools, let's say all the individual tools, they're all on their own on panels. So it's for easy and quick access. And as you can already see that they're all on sliders. So it's all about quick application and making the whole process a lot faster. Okay, so that's for X. And if you are a beginner, if you are just looking for something to do simple edits, X will be the right one for you. Okay, now let's go back to the dashboard. You can do that by clicking on this home icon here, and let's switch to E. As you can see immediately, the logo changes to E. And again, we just click on one of the preloaded projects. Now, if you are a seasoned user, or maybe you've had experience with the general photo editors out there, this will be a very familiar UI layout for you. Okay, of course, it carries over all the functions from X and everything else with some extra additional tools and functions for better precision and control. For example, let's say if we look at the brush function, you'll be able to choose more of your sizes, the softness. You can even choose how many steps you want your brush to have. You can choose the angles, and you can even have a look at the different types of presets that's available here. So for E mainly, it's you have a bigger work area. Again, the panels on the right can be minimized, and all the tools and functions, tool options, they're all up here in the menus now. Okay, so if you are already a seasoned user, E will be a walk in the park for you. That means you already know, you should know your way around, and all the functions are already there. Okay, so that's the differences between X and E. Now let's take a quick look at the dashboard. Okay, so now this is a Pixlr dashboard. So again, it's shared in between Pixlr X and E. So here it will be here we give you an overview of all of your projects, past and current. And you can also organize them by renaming your projects. Let's just give it a simple name. Okay, you can also pin them for quicker access. Pin your favorite projects for quicker access. You can duplicate them. So if you don't like anything, or let's say if you're clearing space, you can just delete them. Okay, and next would be creating a new blank canvas. It's pretty straightforward as well. You can either choose from any of the presets here, preset sizes, or if you have a specific size in mind, you can type it in here as well. And then we'll just go with this one and just click create. So that directly creates a new document for you directly in the browser, in the editor as a transparent background. Let's say if you'd like to have a document, let's say with a background color, you just click on the background, pick a color, and then click on create. And you have your new document loaded with a background color. Okay, so I'll just go with X since it's easier for demonstration. All right, coming back to X, this is the project we created just now. And if you like, you can even change the background colors again when you're working. So you can change to a background color of your choice at any time in the properties menu. Okay, so that's that for creating a document. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And then we also have, let's say if you have an image directly on your computer, you can just open image from the computer, look for it. And load URL would mean that if you have the URL of an image from any site at all on the internet, just paste it in there and you load in the editor right away. Okay, so that's actually it for the dashboards. And now we'll take a look at some simple use cases. All right, so if you don't mind, I'll just leave it at this screen. I guess it's easier. Okay, so for use case number one, we're going to look at simple adjustments, the retouch tool, specifically the heal tool, and as well as adding some overlays. So okay. Okay, so we have this image of a beautiful lady, a beautiful model, and we're going to do very simple and quick adjustments to just make the colors and the color spot and the image, let's say, have a better contrast. And let's say we want to prepare this for an Instagram post. Okay, so what do we do? All right, so one of the main things about Pixlr is how easy it is for you to really get around the editor and really just create your designs right away and in a real quick and fast manner. All right, so okay, let's do this. We have the image of the beautiful model. Okay, first, of course, as always, as when you're starting a project, we just do a duplicate of the image for a backup. So if there's anything, we can go back to that. And okay, so we will do a quick adjustment to, all right, now this is the adjustment panel. You control everything from the colors to the tonal variance, the tonal value of an image. Okay, so this image is already quite all right. So we're just going to enhance the muted colors, bring out the skin tones a little bit. Okay, and then we will do the, let's give it a nice contrast, just to make the colors tighter. Enhance a little bit of the brightness. Okay, and the highlights, we'll just lower them a little bit to bring out some details in the highlighted areas. And the shadows, we will just reduce them a little bit. Okay, so if I guess that looks pretty good, but we're gonna apply. And take a brief look at the before and after. Okay, so that's pretty all right. Now let's go in and do some simple retouches. Okay, specifically the heal tool. All right, so the heal tool is under retouch, and it will be the first tool that you see in the panel. And this is a very common tool for, you know, like usually retouching images if you want to remove anything like scars and blemishes, minor bumps on skin, etc. So, but you know, for this model, she has beautiful skin definitely, and I generally would not remove anything like freckles and moles, because I think that's a defining point of someone's defining feature of someone. So just for the sake of demonstration, okay, we'll be using again the hue tool, picking a size relevant to where we're going to clone, where we're going to heal, basically. So what this tool does is that it will sample the area around the brush and replace the area in the middle of the brush with them. All right, so let's say you see these minor spots here, we're just going to click on them to remove them. Okay, and then that will be the patch. Patch would mean it's a single point and click, but let's say if you like to click and drag, you can use the infill option. And I usually use this just for like finer lines, small lines and stuff like that. So let's just remove some of the wrinkles here. Okay. Okay, switch again to patch. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. And now let's say we'd like to enhance the aesthetics of the image. You take a look at the elements and overlays. So for overlays, for premium, we have about 3,000 overlays, and they will be added regularly to the collection here. So I'll just choose one. Okay, all right, so we pick this one. And again, for overlays, you can actually control the opacity, the transparency of it. So that will tell the editor how much you want the overlay to show. You can also rotate them or flip. Okay, so as you can see, the overlay is added as a new layer. And if I want to increase the intensity, let's say, I can just do a duplicate of the overlay. And the options for the layers here will let me play around with it some more to actually find out some, or let's say find a result that I actually like or want. Okay, so all right, that's done for the overall aesthetics. So let's say now we want to create, we want this for an Instagram post. So you just go to crop. If you already know the size of Instagram, usually it's 1080 by 1080, but if you're not too sure, you can select from our aspects as well and pick a preset. So let's say Instagram post. All right, and arrange that if you like, and just click apply. And there you go, an Instagram post. And that is actually a very quick and simple way of like using the overlays. You can enhance the aesthetics of your images. Okay, so let's take a look at our second use case. Would be we'll be showing you the retouch tool, basically the clone tool, the text tool, the cutout tool, the elements, the other elements, the stickers and the borders, as well as some of the effects that's available. And previously, the first use case, we were using Pixlr X, and now we show you how to switch in between X and E to use tools specifically available on certain editors, certain versions of the editor. All right, so let's go back to, okay, so again, now we're gonna add really quickly, just go through on how we're gonna create, make this image more exciting, and by adding some text as well as some borders and some elements to it. Okay, so again, we will be duplicating the layer. Turning off the original background, and I will be using the arrange tool to just move it slightly, scatter slightly to the middle. All right, so now what we're going to look at is, again, one of the essential tools, the retouch tool, and specifically the clone stamp. So we're going to clone this area back. Okay, so the clone stamp is a two-step function, meaning that every time you have it selected, you start at the source function. Now, for source, mainly is to tell the editor where you're going to sample for you to clone over it. Okay, so again, let me just source around this area. And once you click on source, it changes directly to pane. Now that lets you know that you can start working right away. So it's a relatively big size, a large size here. So I'm gonna just increase the size of my brush, and for blending, for better blends, I'll increase the softness as well. Okay, and I'm going to pick a line here for this setting. When I pick a line, actually it jumps back to source. That lets me know that I have to source it again, because I'll dive deeper into that in a bit. Okay, so now I'll just source it here. Navigate, I'll just minimize this, and minimize the panels as well for better space. And again, I'm having aligned. So, sorry. And I'll start cloning right away. What align does is that it will align my source together with where I'm brushing. So basically, it's just following where my sample area is basically just following where my brush is going. Okay, around this area, we do it one more time. Source, and I'm going to turn off align now. So once I turn off align, it will maintain its position at where I clicked. And you might need to do a few sources throughout your whole process to have better results. But just for this, we're going to do it roughly, just to show how the tool functions. Whoops. And of course, you can source and paint again at any time for a better finish. Okay. So now we're going to add a text to it. Loading the text tool. So the text tool is actually pretty complete, I would say, for what you need to do for something quick. All right, so let's type in something like Pixlr. And you can choose your alignments, the uppercase, lowercase, italics, or bold. I'm going to pick a font. You can, when you're working on Pixlr, you can also upload your own fonts. All you need to do is just drag and drop your font files into the editor itself. Okay, let's just pick a simple color. Increase the size. Increase the layer spacing a bit. Okay, and if you choose to, you can even add a background for your fonts, an outline, or a shadow. Okay. Now what we're going to do next is basically to have the illusion of the font or the text being behind the skater. So in order to do this, normally you can use the cutout tool, but now before we do that, we actually need to rasterize the text first to make it actually turning the text itself into pixels. And we need to do that via Pixlr E, all right? So we're going to go back to the home, toggle home to go back to the dashboard, change to Pixlr E, and then click on the project again. So now what we need to do is rasterize the text. So we can go to layer and rasterize the text element. So that makes it, that converts the text to pixels, and now you can manipulate it. All right, so we will go for the cutout tool and selecting the draw mask. So there are a few different types of cutout functions for you to use. Shape mask basically creates a shape, allows you to create a shape, drag a shape to either keep or remove the elements. Magic mask will be something like a magic wand. It will select all the same tones and colors. Lasso will let you do freeform selections, and gradient mask will basically allow you to apply a gradient over it. So, but for this one, we'll be using the draw mask, and we'll be removing from the mask the areas that are around the skater. So again, I'm just going to do a very rough example just for the sake of demonstration. So I'm doing now is just painting over the areas that I want to remove. Okay, and then let's say if there are some areas that I accidentally removed, I can just turn on hint remove and tell me where I actually took away and come back to add to masks to paint those areas back. Just to give you the idea. Again, I'm just going to go through this very roughly. All right, let's just say we're done. And next up would be adding some elements. In E, the elements will be under File and under Browse Elements. So it's a Control or Command B for a shortcut. So we'll check out some stickers. For stickers, we have about 7,000. And of course, again, they'll be uploaded regularly. Let's go with... so, comic. Okay, I'm picking a lightning here. Close. And that itself will load directly on a new layer. And now I will be able to arrange it. Let's just say that we want it this way. So elements, they can be duplicated. Next up, I'll be just merging down to form a new layer with 3 elements just now. And now it's one on its own. And then I'll duplicate that again and flip it. Okay. And again, we'll just merge everything as one. Okay, so now one of the other functions that E has would be the inner and outer glow. These are exclusive to E. So let's just say we want to give the lightning effects an outer glow. Okay. All right, and let's just add another element. Say border. All right. So there you go. Very quick edits. You can create a nice artwork right away. Okay. So let's move on to our next use case. Now we're using a Pixlr E. And of course, so for one of our featured tools will be the AI Cutout tool. And what it does is that it will study your image and generate a cutout of it. So images that work best for the cutout tool, the AI cutout would be images that have a clear contrast between the background and the subject. So something like we have here. Although yes, but we've had actually some pretty good samples as well if for images where it's not really that clear, which I'll show later. So now for this, what we're going to do now is to create a blend mode by using the blend effects in the layers. So this is, I'm sure you might have seen this effect a lot in maybe social media. It's called the double exposure effect. It looks cool, and actually it doesn't take too much time for you to create. So you can do it directly and quickly in Pixlr. So first of all, let's create a better contrast, let's remove the background. Select the AI Cutout tool. All right, so now that directly removes the background. Of course, there will be some areas where if you need to, you can use the other tools to fine tune it. But okay, so let's, for example, I'm using a draw mask to just fine tune some areas in the hair. As and when you need. Okay. All right, just for example. And next, let's add a new layer. Empty layer, and again, specific to E, we have the fill tool where you can select colors for you to fill. You go with white to create a good contrast. So usually the double exposure effect works well with a good contrast background. Let's fill that with white. Let's unlock the model layer and bring it up front. Okay. Now I'm just gonna load. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna bring in an image of a city. I'll just, so once you drag and drop images into the editor, it will give you the option to either create new or add the current. We'll add the current. Okay, and we just resize it. And select screen from the blend modes. And that will directly blend the image of the city onto the model. So we just adjust the transparency a little bit. And again, if needed, using the cutout tool and the draw mask, we're just going to slightly remove some areas of around the face to show the face more. Lower the transparency a bit to still have some effect of the city. And there you go. So you can even create a gradient overlay if you like. So we have the gradients here. You can just click and drag on it and, oops, sorry. Pardon me, supposed to add an empty layer and fill again with the green. Again, select screen mode. And that's how easy it is to just create a double exposure effect. Okay. So again, just to show the AI cutout function. I mean, previously we had the image of this male model here who was on still quite a good contrasted background. Now let's use this image again. Let's just turn off. All right, so we're going to try to remove the background from here. Again, with the AI cutout tool. All right, select cutout, AI auto. Okay, all right, let's turn this on. And there you go. It's actually quite a good and clean work, I would say. And of course, again, generally, it would do quite a good work. But let's say if you'd like to fine tune it further, yeah, you can use any of the options here for better control and removal of the areas that you don't need. Okay, so that's just a very quick run through of some of the use cases and the essential tools. Now we'll look at saving your files. So when you're working, Pixlr auto saves all progresses, all the progress of your edits. But let's say to download a project directly onto your computer, you can just press Control S or Command S if you're on a Mac, and that will show the dialog box, and it will give you 4 formats to choose from. First would be JPEG, the common image compression format, and then we have the PNG version, which supports transparencies, WebP for further size optimization for the web, and then you also have the PXD files that maintains all layers of your document, so you can download that and work on it later. Okay, so and once you click on download, it will download it to a designated save folder on your computer. All right. So yeah, okay. So that's it actually for this brief walkthrough, and I'm ready to answer any questions that you may have.
Awesome, let's do it. Yeah, the main question, we don't have a ton of questions here, so Simulings, if you have some questions that you want to get in, now is your time. We did get a couple of requests to see the background removal with one click, so thank you for showing us that. We have a question, can I create logos with Pixlr?
Well, you can create logos in a way, but actually Pixlr is more of a rasterized, a raster format editor. So, I mean, you can still draw, you can still use some basic shapes to create your, and basic shapes and text to create your logos. But I would say if you really want to create okay, you still can, but for better results, I would say it's best to use a vector format editor.
Great, thank you. We have, great, thanks, you're welcome. Are there tutorials and where can I find them?
Right, that's a good question. Actually, we have a lot of tutorials, and you can go to YouTube. Hang on. It's on YouTube. Oh, sorry. Can I just share my screen again? All right, so we have, so a lot of our tutorials are on our YouTube page, youtube.com/pixlrstream. That's PIXLRSTREAM, Pixlr Stream, and we upload new tutorials every week. So feel free to check them out and follow along to see if you can create a better version of any of the artworks here.
Amazing. Oh, they look so cool. Everything you made today looks great, by the way. I'm really loving this tool. We have a question. If I purchase, do Simulings get whatever future updates Pixlr applies?
Yes, I mean, if you purchase the professional, the premium plan, the premium plan, yes, you will have access to every new updates in terms of overlays, stickers, etc., or even like AI tools, AI powered tools, and you can use them as well.
Great, and we just got another question. What is the difference between the Pixlr Premium and Pro plan, and how can I upgrade to the Pro plan?
Oh, that's a sales question. All right, so actually, if for premium, it's basically all the elements you have here that's already in the editor, as well as all the AI functions, etc. And you will be well. The main thing is that there'll also be no ads, so you can use it freely. For Pixlr Professional, it will be integrated with Pixlr stock, where it's a library of stock images, vectors, videos as well. And it's basically an inclusion of that with more, everything you have already in premium and additional stock in professional.
Awesome. Those are the questions we have in the Q&A box. Davin let us know that for upgrade, you may contact info@pixlr.com and they will make the arrangement for you. Let's see if I got anything else here. How many codes do I need is what Greg asked.
How many codes? This one, I think it's for David.
I can, yeah, if David wants to answer, I can also like guess.
Right.
It looks like it's just one code. It looks like you can buy one code for the premium plan. I don't know if you can stack, so that might be a David question. I don't believe that you can. So I think I'm gonna go with just the one. I hate lying on these things, but that's my best guess. It's a lifetime plan, so it's just one code. Yeah, so you just need one code. You don't need to stack. Yeah, no problem. Sometimes we have stacking at AppSumo for like, adding sub accounts or whatever. So this is just, you just have the one code, the one account. And those are all of the questions that we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and come back on the camera. Hello again, everybody. Thank you so much, Ian, for walking us through all of this. Thank you, David, for answering all of the questions. And yeah, it's one code for one account. It's a lifetime plan, and it's available on AppSumo right now for just $49. Of course, this is backed by AppSumo's 60-day guarantee, so you can go ahead and get started up, start playing with it, see how it works for you. As you saw today, it does a lot of really great, cool stuff, and it's super affordable and easy to use. So that's amazing, and I love it, and I think I'm gonna get it too. Thank you so much, Ian, for joining us. Thank you, David. Thank you, Sumolings. We'd love to hear how you're, loving this product. So go ahead and leave those reviews. Wonderful demo. Thanks. Yay. Thank you. Leave those reviews for us. And of course, if you have any more questions, go ahead and leave those on the deal page. Thank you all.